Rafael Fiziev and Justin Gaethje this Saturday at UFC 286. People are completely underestimating Justin Gaethje, and they are overestimating Rafael Fiziev. They say he's the second coming. He's the best striker in the UFC, the most dangerous man in the lightweight division. I disagree. I think that Rafael Fiziev is an amazing striker. I think he's a really good fighter, but since watching a bunch of his fights back, I think that people are starting to sip the Kool-Aid, dude, and it has to do with his name. It has to do with the aura. The guy's, as I said, the fucking second coming, right? And the Jesus look, dude. But to be honest, guys, he is definitely over-glorified, and people are acting like he's going to go in there and walk through Justin Gaethje and just dance around him and put him out and barely not get hit. That's not going to happen. He is going to get in a scrap with Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is like Bobby Green on steroids, and Bobby Green whooped his goddamn ass in the third round of their fight. He gassed out, and he hasn't fought at a high pace since then. And that is a massive point that I want to make early on in this prediction video, because since the Bobby Green fight, where Fiziev 100% almost lost that. Sure, I think he squeaked out the second round upon watching it again, but he definitely lost the third round. Gassed out, had really no power on his hands. The body kicks that he was landing to Bobby Green were not affecting Green at all towards the second half of that fight. And that just leads me to believe that when you take it to Rafael Fiziev and you can take his shots early on, even with a guy like Green, who is not trying to take you down, who doesn't even have that much power in his hands, who might not even fight at the same pace as Justin Gaethje early on, like, he slows down massively and isn't that dangerous. Now, the thing is, since then, he's been wary about that gas tank. He's fought guys like Brad Riddell, had a technical chess match with him. First of all, that fight with Brad Riddell was very close. Fiziev looked like he was the one who was mostly composed in the center of the octagon, looked like he was controlling the fight, but if you're looking at who was actually landing strikes, it was damn near even up until the knockout in the third round, which was a spinning heel kick, which doesn't make me think that, oh, Fiziev's got this insane power, dude. It's his combinations, dude. It's the way he's fucking throwing things, the sound he's making when he throws his combinations that makes us think that this dude has some heat in his hands. I don't think he has more power than Jalen Turner. I don't think he has more power than Justin Gaethje. For sure, his kicks are probably the best. But, like, that was a slow-paced fight with Brad Riddell. And you're not going to get that opportunity to fight at that pace with Justin Gaethje. Also, the next fight with RDA. First 5-rounder, he proved that he had really good grappling defense. He was able to stuff a lot of takedowns. RDA is a crafty veteran that could grapple as well. He's been putting on grappling clinics for the entire latter half of his career too. So you know that RDA is an improved grappler, if anything, these days, and a pretty decent striker overall, because of course he had the threat of the takedown, was able to land some good strikes on his own. That fight was not like a complete obliteration by Fiziev, but that's also, again, because of the grappling threat. And Fiziev passed the test, and he looked so goddamn good when throwing his strikes. If anything, he looked even more powerful and improved in that fight as well. The thing is, Fiziev is so hard to counter because he's like one of the only guys that can throw a 4-strike combination with his hands and his kicks. And you just know that he's throwing it with such a level of speed, power, precision, technique that you just have no choice but to put your guard up and hope that, all right, at least he's going to rip the body. I don't want to get done like Renato Moicano, who got hit with that beautiful combination by Fiziev. Body to the top of the hook, dropped Moicano, and he was able to TKO him on the ground after that. He looked really good, but it's still a slow-paced fight, dude. Justin Gaethje will not give him that opportunity. And the only thing I'm going to say is, bro, he is going to have to go to war with Gaethje. He is going to get a black eye. He is going to have swelling on his face. He is going to get cut open in this fight. I really think he is, bro. I think that Justin Gaethje, sure, he got knocked down by Charles Oliveira, but I can't just bank that his chin's going to be fucking ruined. I can't just say, all right, he got dropped by Charles. He took a shitload of damage by Charles. As soon as he gets hit, he's going out. I don't think so at all. Justin Gaethje, when he's taken on the upper echelon of his division, he has not always passed those tests. So now I'll criticize Gaethje a little bit. Gaethje is underrated insofar as him being just a complete dog shit, sloppy striker that gets by with his power. But like, he has really good head movement, and that's attributed to his improvements made with training with Trevor Whitman for such a long time. Look at his fight with Michael Chandler. He got past Michael Chandler a lot easier than Dustin Poirier. Everyone holds Dustin to such a high regard on the feet. They talk about him like he's the best striker in that division, the best boxer in the UFC. Dude, he lost the majority of the first round. 4 minutes and 30 seconds of him and Michael Chandler is Michael Chandler beating his ass on the feet. Whereas the Justin Gaethje first round with Michael Chandler is Justin Gaethje weathering the storm and still winning the first round comfortably, and that's that. He had an easier round with Michael Chandler in the first. He made Chandler look easier than Poirier. Poirier basically lost the majority of the first round, got his ass kicked on the ground in the second, and then was able to submit low IQ Mike, right? And so I'm looking at that fight and I'm thinking to myself, dude, Justin Gaethje has some really good head movement in this fight. He's not getting touched up as much as Dustin Poirier. He's low-key looking a little more technical than I had given him credit for. Because when you're watching that fight live, you're not really looking for all those little details. You're just enjoying it as a fan, and you're scoring it as well. But another fight that I was also impressed with Justin Gaethje was his fight with Charles Oliveira. Like, yes, he got dropped. Yes, he got kind of broken, but still, dude, his hand speed is ridiculous, bro. And he dropped Charles twice, and that's just what Gaethje does, man. He's got some crazy power. I think he's more powerful than Rafael Fiziev. We don't see Fiziev dropping guys the way Justin Gaethje can. I think he's the better boxer. I think he has better head movement in the pocket, but again, when he steps up in competition, got knocked out by Eddie Alvarez, got knocked out by Dustin Poirier, lost to Khabib, lost to Charles Oliveira, and ultimately got outdone on the feet too. I mean, let's be honest, it's almost like he got knocked out in that fight. He took a lot of damage. He's 34. He went on record to say that he was stung by Charles Oliveira. It felt like his tongue had been electrocuted. That's how hard he was hit. He never felt something like that before. And he's taken a while off, but he always takes a while off. And I think that because of all the wars that he's had, I'm going to favor the durability of Fiziev. I think Gaethje just might be able to drag Fiziev into a war, maybe steal the third round with his pace, gas Fiziev out a little bit. I mean, Fiziev's been out in the media saying, I want to smell his blood, I want to pull his heart out and eat it. That's the kind of shit that Gaethje was saying on his come up before getting KO'd by guys like Poirier and Eddie Alvarez. And Gaethje's responded to these comments as well. And as much as I dislike Justin Gaethje, I'm actually liking the way that he's carrying himself this week. He's not giving out any excuses. He's saying, listen, I respect Fiziev. He's got phenomenal skills. He's been striking basically as long as I've been wrestling. And that's the type of shit that I was saying. It reminds me of myself. There's a danger to that, and there's a positive to that, to a young guy being hungry and confident and reckless. And I think that Gaethje, being the more mature fighter, as I know that sounds crazy, Gaethje is a mature fighter, right? But still, we've seen Fiziev get into an ego battle with Bobby Green, right? He was fighting the ego with Bobby Green. He was trying to prove a point when he had Green in front of him talking shit, saying, what's up? You know, that pissed him off, made him want to run Bobby Green down, ultimately wasn't able to put him out, gassed out a little bit, and Bobby Green was the last one to laugh in the third round, pieced him up the entirety of the round. And I think that Gaethje might just do the same thing, might push some buttons. And Fiziev wants to prove a point to the fans. Now, there's also a possibility that Fiziev could go in there extremely calculated, not allow Gaethje to run him down, stay at kicking range, rip to the body, try to slow fights down a little bit with his heavy kicks. That's a possibility, but I'm already starting to see Fiziev going into this with a big ego, bro, and that's not going to be so good for him. But again, we've seen guys rip to the body and have success, like Eddie Alvarez was able to finish Gaethje ultimately with those body shots and landed a good knee at the end of it to the head to put Gaethje out when he was already gassed. And then, of course, Gaethje, his wins aren't that amazing. Chandler's a good win. Edson Barboza's a good win. But other than that, like the Tony Ferguson win, it's not that impressive, bro. Tony was looking like he was on the decline since the Cowboy fight. I was watching the Cowboy fight, and sure, the doctor stepped in and stopped it because Cowboy's eye was swelling, but like Cowboy was piecing Tony up and outdoing him on the feet. Like looked a lot faster than Tony. Tony looked slow in that fight. He wasn't taking shots that well either in that fight, and like his reaction time wasn't all there. And then you're looking at wins like Donald Cerrone, who was already a little bit old when Justin Gaethje knocked him out. And I mean, he's basically lost more than he's won in the past like 3 years, bro. So I don't know, man. I'm going to favor Fiziev because as well as Justin Gaethje can move his head around, when he does throw those big hooks, he dips his head off to the side and leaves his chin exposed. And although I favor Gaethje in the pocket with the boxing, Fiziev has lightning fast kicks. And if you're studying Justin Gaethje tape, you know he dips his head off to the side and you can land a head kick on the end of one of those combinations. That's the truth. And I think he's going to catch him with a head kick. So I'm going to pick Fiziev by second round KO. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to a decision. And also, I'm only favoring Fiziev by like 55%. For a while, I was saying Fiziev's going to knock his ass out in the first round, but the only chance that happens is if Gaethje's chin is just completely gone. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to come in a little bit refreshed with a good game plan. We might see Fiziev try to get into an ego battle with Gaethje, and we might see him blow his wad. So don't be surprised if Justin Gaethje could win the second and the third round. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Fiziev second round KO with a head kick when Gaethje dips his head off to the side. And I think that he could also just steal the first and the second round and maybe lose the third, gassing out a little bit. If he cannot knock Justin Gaethje out in the first or second round and throughout the fight maintain a good, convincing lead over Gaethje, I'm not going to ever say this dude's going to become a champion, because Justin Gaethje's 34. We've seen guys pick him apart. We've seen guys finish him. If you can't finish Justin Gaethje at this point in his career, and you're the boogeyman, the striker of the division with the, Eastern European last name, the fucking hair bun looking like Jesus, I'm going to start thinking that you're just overhyped because of just that. So you better put him out if you're going to be in contention for being a guy that could knock out Islam Makhachev. I, right now, believe that Jalen Turner is a more dangerous striker than Rafael Fiziev. I think that Fiziev has a different style, but as far as like finishing ability, I'm going to favor Jalen Turner. I want Fiziev to prove me wrong because I want to see him get past this test. If he can come out with a big KO and he can land that head kick or just rip to the body and land something up top like he did to Renato Moicano and put Justin Gaethje out in emphatic fashion, we're talking about a guy that might just be the one to become a lightweight champion. If Gaethje can win, let's just stop hyping up Fiziev to this magnitude. But still, I like Fiziev. He's good. It's just that, he's not the fucking, biggest killer on the block is all I'm saying. He's very good, but he slows down. He cannot fight at a high pace like a Justin Gaethje, and he has some holes in his game, and that's just the fact. And he's not knocking people out with one shot. Like, he can knock people out, but again, it's just the vibe that you get when this guy strikes. He's such a good Muay Thai fighter that you just think that he's got like this one-hitter quitter. Not necessarily. And I don't think he's going to put Gaethje out like that easily. But I can't wait to see it. It's going to be an absolute war. 55% in favor of Fiziev. Again, I was going to shit on Gaethje a little more, but I liked the interviews that I saw of him today. He's carrying himself well this week. Who do you guys want to win, and who are you guys picking to win? Let's hope my curse doesn't get in the way of this, because I'd like Fiziev to win anyway. But hey, I told you, don't be surprised if Justin Gaethje can pull this off. Until next time. If you're using protein powder or mass gainer to put on size, you're doing something wrong. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make a weight gain shake with real food. Nothing but real food, guys. We're gonna start with some full-fat Greek yogurt, high in protein and probiotics, some organic oats that'll reduce your LDL cholesterol, some good old-fashioned almond butter as well, heart healthy fats, and we're also gonna add some bananas and more fruit for antioxidants, phytochemicals, good vitamins, some blueberries, cherries, some Ceylon cinnamon to reduce our LDL and help us to metabolize all the sugar, some good old vitamin D, and now we can add a scoop of whey protein for some flavor. I top it off with some milk, and this, guys, is how you gain weight. If you're struggling to gain weight, you're a hard gainer, try this shake out. You'll love it. It'll taste amazing. And for more meals like this, check out my Real Food Cookbook.